Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is Miss Lane's Minds Podcast. I'm your co-host, Boom One Gato, the cat that hands your speculation back. And to my left over here is the main man, to narrow the man that makes the fat stacks. Together we form the dynamic duo, it won't die. Donnie and Diaz Bros, and spicier content than your girls' only fans.
What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit. And with that, let's get right into it. But before we get right into it, just a quick little heads up. Me and my man here are both sick. But hey, look, listen, the game don't stop, so we don't stop either. Just wanted to give you a little bit of heads up. You might hear me coughing, you might hear my man coughing. It is what it is. Let's get on to it. So, after Pitbull Cruz won his match against Rolly in spectacular fashion, much like we predicted, much like we said would happen, a lot of people were asking, who's next? Who's next for Pitbull? And listen, I'll be honest with you, I actually really like this conversation because there's a lot of good talent in the 140-pound division. And I'll be honest with you, there's some that I'm a little bit more interested in seeing than others, but let's talk about it. So listen, number one right off the bat, people are talking about is him and Gervonta. Pitbull's been asking for a rematch. If you watch the first fight between him and Gervonta, Raleigh looked better than anyone else. I'd even say he looked way better than even Ryan Garcia. You know, Ryan Garcia is theoretically a bigger star. I mean, he's more popular, but, it is what it is. Anyway, so that's actually a good fight. I think it'd be a great fight. I know that Gervonta is technically in the 135-pound division, so, it might not happen. Gervonta's been holding off on moving up to 140. You can speculate onto why that is. I have my own speculation about that. It is what it is. But listen, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta, Tank Davis, Matias, Subriel Matias, and Teofimo Lopez. All of these are people that I don't care who you put up against who. Great fucking matches no matter who faces who. We're going to try and keep this a little bit simple because this could be an hour-long, 2-hour-long conversation, and we don't want to bore you guys to death. But listen, I'm going to go through kind of my matchups, what I think, kind of rank these individuals as how I see it, and then we can kind of get into it. So check it out. Me personally, I believe out of all these guys, Ryan's the weakest. I think a matchup between him and Pitbull would be a good match because I think it could go either way. I'd have to lean Pitbull because Pitbull puts on that pressure. Ryan's not good at dealing with that. Not even Gervonta was able to knock down or knock out Pitbull, so I'm going to give the edge to Pitbull on that one. Next up, apart from that, Pitbull against Devin. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Devin takes it. I actually have Devin at number 1 in that division. So I think Devin will do what he currently does always. He'd pick and choose the spots, bap, 1-2, jump out, 1-2, jump out, and do that. Don't get me wrong. I think it'd be difficult because one thing that Devin doesn't like, again, pressure. And Pitbull is that type of dude where he just constantly brings in the pressure. Again, I already talked about him and Gervonta. If I'm being honest, I still think Gervonta beats Pitbull. I don't get me wrong. I'd want Pitbull to win just because, that's my dude. But I do think Gervonta, if his hand was really hurt, like he said it was in the first match, which if you watch the tail end of it did actually look like his hand was hurt, so he wasn't throwing it as much. I have good reason to believe that it was. So that being said, you would think, hey, he's coming in good, no hand, no feeling, nothing like that. It'd still be a great match, it'd be a chess match, but I still think Gervonta takes it. Subriel Matias, he's the dark horse in this bitch. Look, let me, my man and I were actually just discussing this right before. Matias retired his last 5 fights, man. And again, don't get me wrong, it's not against anyone of a lot of note. But listen, you still got to keep your eye on a man that retires his last 5 fighters. So I think he's a dark horse in this one. I think he can bring a surprise to any of these guys. Between him and Matias, I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I think Pitbull could beat Matias. I think Matias can beat Pitbull. It'd be a banger. You know what I mean? If they got to, get down, I think it'd be a banger. That being said, Teofimo Lopez. Look, listen. Teofimo Lopez is one of those guys that you never know what you're going to get with this man. There's times where he shows up and he's a phenomenal fucking fighter. He's, very, very talented. He knows exactly what he's doing. He goes in there and picks people apart. And there's times where he fights against people that he's supposed to be, like Sandor Martin, and, arguably he loses the fight. So listen, I think Teofimo would win, but I'll be honest with you, Teofimo does great some nights, and some nights he disappoints. So it's definitely not out of the question that Pitbull can win that one. I think all these are exciting fights, but since we're focusing on Pitbull and his recent win, I'm gonna leave it at that and not really get into everyone else mixing and matching. What do you think about that, my man? Who do you think, based on these guys that we're talking about, who do you think beats who? And go ahead and go through your list.
Listen, for Isaac Cruz, this question is all a matter of what does he want at the end of the day? Does he want gold or does he want glory? If he's talking about Ryan Garcia or Gervonta Davis, those are purely glory matches. He gets nothing out of that. The only thing that he gets out of that is just getting a W at the end of the day. At the end of the day, if he wants a quick payday, yes, he can go with Ryan Garcia. With Tank Davis, the only thing that he's getting at the end of the day is a correction on that record. This is for sure. I got this matchup in the bag. Now, granted, out of all these points I hear, he has history with Tank Davis. He might know a little bit about more picking apart his fight style. So again, if he wants to fight a familiar opponent, he has one in Tank Davis. However, for the rest of these people, it is nothing but gold. Every single one of these men, your Devin Haney's, your Subriel Matias, your Teofimo Lopez, all of them have gold, and so does Isaac. To be fair, he just won it against Raul Romero, and if he wants to unify it, he's going to have to go against each one of his people. Again, I do agree with you. Devin Haney does seem like the type of person to outbox Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz, again, he's a rushdown person, but his punch is going to sound like a really out there concept. You're not going to know this reference, but he seems like a very... If y'all ever see the show JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the man seems like Purple Diamond. He just comes in, rushes all of his punches. Not necessarily that they don't have aim, but they do seem wild, and it seems like he's throwing 1,000 punches to find a target. It is very much a death of 1,000 knife situation. Now, with Subriel Matias, again, the man seems like a monster. The fact that he's retired all of his purple. So again, it seems like a stand and banger. With Teofimo Lopez, it seems like a gamble. Again, we don't know for sure what kind of man we're gonna see in Teofimo Lopez. So it seems like out of all these three, it seems like to me, the one I would personally want to see the most, which I actually just linked to you earlier, is the fact that Eddie Hearn actually himself petitioned for a matchup between Subriel Matias and Isaac Cruz. Again, nothing's confirmed so far. No T's, no Q's, no I's have been dotted or crossed. So again, as far as that fight actually happening, nobody has agreed to sign anything. Eddie Hearn just says he wants to see this match personally. And to be honest, as a fan, I want to see it too. It looks like it'd be an absolute slugfest. It looks like they're going to all leave it out on the table, and whoever comes out is going to come out champion.
Listen, my man, again, it doesn't matter who fights who, but it's one of those things that I think no matter who you, again, Ryan versus Devin, which we have coming up on the 20th of this month, Ryan or Devin versus Gervonta, Devin versus Subriel, Devin versus Teofimo. Again, you could it doesn't matter. You can match any of these guys with any of these guys, and it's gonna be a great fucking night for us fight fans. Again, me personally, I kind of gave you my predictions. This is my lineup and how I think this division is currently leveled out from number one. I personally think at the top of the board is Devin Haney. If you guys know, I have a lot of respect for Bill Haney, for Devin Haney, for what they've done. I think out of all these guys, they've taken boxing the most serious. I think they've committed more to it than any of these other guys. I think next up on that list is going to be Gervonta. I'll be honest with you. I think Gervonta hasn't faced as high tier talent as a lot of these other guys. I think he could stand to face better talent than he's already faced. But that being said, listen, Gervonta's very, very underestimated, man. A lot of people think this man's just a power. Nah, man. He's very technically sound. He has a great ring IQ, so that's why I put him at number 2. My number 3 is going to be, I'm going to be honest, Teofimo Lopez. Again, even though some nights he disappoints and some nights, you don't know what you're getting with this man, he has all the skills to upset any of these guys. He's a phenomenal boxer. He's a great boxer. It just, sometimes you don't get that out of him. And I'll be honest with you, I think it's when he gets comfortable that you see not so great Teofimo. This next spot, I'll be honest with you, I could give it to either Pitbull or Matias. And the reason I say Pitbull or Matias is because, listen, I've seen a Pitbull fight, A+ talent, done great. I'm not so much seeing that from Matias. Don't get me wrong, Matias retired his last 5 fights, last 5 boxers that he fought. But again, it's not like it was anybody of note. It wasn't any major talent. So it is what it is. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have skill. He has a lot of skill. I'll be honest with you. I think he could really fight with any of these guys. And I'll be honest with you. He might move up my list. So again, interchangeable. You move him whichever you want. And then in the finals is Ryan Garcia. Ryan hasn't taken any of this seriously. He has the tools. He just doesn't put them together enough. Ryan, in my opinion, is the weakest out of these 6 guys. He has potential, but he just, up until this point, he hasn't taken it serious. What about you, my man? How do you have this ranking going between these 6 guys?
Definitely of these 6 men, I definitely would also agree with you that Devin and Tank definitely will be at the very top 2. Again, I think Devin is a lot more fundamentally sound. Again, that's because of his phenomenal coaching. Which, as a side note, I do think Isak definitely has the markups of a champion. It's just, again, his punches seem a little bit too wild, at least for my taste. If it's gotten him this far, I can't really complain. So, again, take it with a grain of salt. However, I think what he definitely does need is a lot more fundamentals in stylistics of boxing, knowing where to aim, knowing how to take his spots. Because again, he seems like a rushdown. Like, he seems like he'll put pressure until he finds a spot. But at that point, if it's against somebody that's very defensive, then he could just tire himself out. Anyways, that's an aside. But yes, I definitely do see Devin and Tank definitely at the very top. I would say, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Isak is going to be above Matias in this point, just because, again.
Even above Tio?
Okay, here's how it's going to be. Devin and Tank will say they're interchangeable, because I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of split between them.
Okay.
Right below them, I'm going to have Teofimo Lopez, just because I feel he personally has a better resume than Matias and Isak. Isak and Matias say they're interchangeable, and Ryan Garcia at the very bottom. We're not really that far different in the list. It's just, again, it's all due to personal taste as to who is going to be at the top. Again, of the 2, I'd say definitely Isak definitely is going to be over Matias.
That's fair. Listen, like, again, we haven't seen Matias fight top tier talent, so that's a fair assessment to make. I think he's a dark horse, so I definitely think that him and Pitbull are interchangeable. But hey, look, listen, I got a lot of respect for Pitbull. The man is the people's man. He's not one of these dudes who's not out here trying to be flashy. He takes care of his family. He's a super good dude. So you could throw it up however you want. Either way, like I said, doesn't matter who you put up against too, man. These are all great fights. When the time comes, we're gonna discuss all of these fights. Hopefully, all these dudes get to banging with each other, get in each other's ring, and get that done. Anything else you want to add to that, my man?
That's it for me.
And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
Until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you in the next one.